right, a very good Thursday morning, guys. We almost made it through another week. When you come on in, say good morning. We want to make sure we give you a quick shout out and say good morning back to you. My name is Brooks Baptiste. I'm so excited to be one of your many hosts for the Daily Dive today, where we're going to be diving into all of the latest trending topics. Got all the co-hosts here. You know who it is. It's going to be a fella show today. So we've got none other than Lou Turner and Steve Fundero. Lou, what do you have over your face?
So there is the mandate, here at the office that we wear masks if we're working,
Oh,
not able to work from home. So I created my own. This was a headband I received from the Donna Marathon, and I am going to pull it down just for the sake of not getting my hot breath all up in my face this entire
right.
time. And I am more than 6 feet from anybody else that's working in this newsroom, which I think there's only
Good.
four other people. So we good. And I got to talk to you on the phone. That's why people see me on the phone. I'm actually only able to hear you guys through this. Steve's got the awesome headphones, as
Yeah,
I can
got
see there. And this
got
time
the
it's the
pink. Yeah,
I
y'all are just representing
was
today.
feeling it,
yeah.
man. Was just feeling it. Lou,
I'm
that's a good
feeling.
look, Lou. The
Yeah,
man.
is it? I almost thought he was going to do some damage at a bank or something like that.
Yeah,
So I wasn't quite sure what the whole idea was.
weird times,
Times are
man.
tough.
That's,
Weird times.
times are tough right now. Speaking of times being tough, that's actually what we're kicking things off with today. How are you guys feeling? We are about 4 weeks into this thing, as far as like the local impacts that we've been starting to feel. So that's about a month. How are you guys personally feeling? And then we're going to be sharing some of the comments of the viewers to see how you guys are feeling. So make sure you weigh in and chime in about COVID-19, the local impacts and what it's doing to you. How has life changed? Are you just ready for things to get back to being normal? Are you just ready for the beaches to open back up? How we feeling? Steve, let's start with you.
I'll go for it. I'll be a quick answer here because I know Lou's probably, I don't know if it'll be a different story for a little bit different situation because Lou, you got wife and kids and everything, but I'm over here by myself. I just got a couple guitars and some surfboards. I can't use the surfboards, but I'm doing all right. Just I think it's really been requiring us to do a little bit more strategizing and planning for weeks instead of just a couple of days. When you're talking about groceries or you're talking about supplies, you just hey, what do I need for the next 2 weeks? Kind of take it a week and a half, 2 weeks at a time. Doing a lot of cooking, playing a lot of music, and reading a lot too. So I think I'm doing all right. Just trying to stay sane. Lou, how about you, man?
Mentally fine, physically fine. I feel healthy, and that thank God for all those things, right? And one of the blessed and something I don't take for granted to have a job at this time. But it leads me to that question. Of course, we want to listen to the CDC guidelines of social distancing and staying home when we can. But how much longer? I wonder. Rhetorically, perhaps even, or I'll ask you to answer. Can the economy handle it? How much longer can the economy take it before it just has to be opened back up? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I wish there was some sort of definitive timeline. Like we're gonna socially distance. We're gonna stay at home until this exact date, and then we're open for business again. I know that's just wishful thinking, but that's kind of where I'm at mentally right now.
I think the craziest part about all of this is we just can't see exactly where that end is going to be. I think some days we try to be hopeful, which is the best thing to do. Trust me. If you just look at numbers and stuff like that, you'll literally just start thinking about life. Just say, Lord, where are we? What is going on? But I think it's important to make sure you have a sense of comfort, or find a sense of comfort just knowing that this truly is going to pass. Like, you know what I mean? This is not something that we're just going to live in for forever. But I'm kind of like you, Lou. I'm on more of the thankful lines. I've seen people through social media and whatnot who have been, their lives have been claimed because of this virus. So I'm thankful not to have anybody who is very close to me, who I've lost. But of course, always my thoughts and prayers go out to those families who are truly being affected by this. So guys, if you're just joining us, we're saying that, locally, we're about 4 weeks into this thing since we've been feeling the local impacts of the coronavirus. And we wanted to hear you guys' thoughts. Like, how are you feeling? How are you doing? We actually had a poll earlier this morning. I want to see if we can get that up there. We had a poll earlier this morning asking people what they thought, and these are the results. You say, you have about 25% that are saying, hey, they're totally on board, health above all, just keep things shut down. And then some folks are saying the economy is their biggest concern. Some people just say at least open the beaches, just open the beaches. That's 4%, as you can see. So some people's thoughts are around there, but then others saying, they enjoy being safe, but they need, some sense of normalcy soon and very soon, which I think is kind of where a lot of people are right now. So let's get over here to this first story, guys. Did you hear about this? Tyler Perry, the man who plays Medea, which we know is now a retired character, but the media man himself, he actually surprised thousands of seniors at local Kroger stores out in Atlanta. And he took care of all of their groceries. And if you can see from some of those images, people were just shocked. They were like, wait a minute, me? You're talking about me? Some people just happy, some people bursting with tears. And this is what Tyler Perry did. He wanted to make sure he gave back, which he always does. So this really affected those shoppers who checked out before 8 o'clock, which are truly the high-risk customers. They're the more vulnerable population for this thing. And this is what he did. So how we think about this? Have you guys ever seen anything like this in maybe a local store where somebody's taking care of a tab?
We need more of it, man.
Yeah.
We need more of it. People giving back like that. Just, I don't know. That's some good stuff right there. And Uncle Ben said in the Spider-Man movies, he said, if you have the ability to do good for others, it is your moral obligation to do that good. So if you're willing and able to do those good things, like Tyler Perry is, being the successful man he is, then in a time like this, it's responsibility to do so. So that's really cool for him to do that.
I thought when you said Uncle Ben, you were talking about the rice.
Yeah.
Oh. That's what I thought.
That's his name in the movie, right? In the comics.
I want to take it a step further with Tyler Perry. I think he deserves even more credit than he deserves. He should be getting more, I should say, because originally he did this to be anonymous. He wanted it to be an anonymous gift.
Secret Angel.
Simply was exactly the Angel of Atlanta, or Atlanta Angel, whatever that was going to be, right, Brooks? But just leave it to some crafty investigative reporter in the media to get his name out there. And cool, I mean, give the man all the props in the world, but I am super impressed by the fact that he didn't want his name out there. He wanted to be anonymous, and it was all more about helping out those seniors. Really, really cool gesture. And you see things like this sometimes year to year. Around Christmas time, you get a generous donor that'll go and buy up somebody's layaway at Walmart. That's always so very encouraging when you see something like that.
Lou, I'm looking at some of the comments that people are putting in, and we thank you guys so much for joining us. And if you are just joining us, we're talking about Tyler Perry and how he surprised thousands of shoppers by taking care of their grocery tab when they were shopping during the senior hours there at these local Kroger stores in Atlanta. And I see what people are saying. You have Madeline that's saying, the unemployment website is horrendous. Other than that, I'm great. Thanks for asking. You have Elizabeth saying she's just totally exhausted. She works in a grocery store, and we thank you, Elizabeth, because we know that is not easy during this time. Patricia saying, lost my job due to the virus. And it's just like, this is, and Wendy even saying, stop calling this the new normal, please. This is not normal. Stop trying to force feed the viewing public that we should just accept this as normal. Well, Wendy, unfortunately, nobody wants it to be normal, but this has become our normal right now for the past few weeks and probably some of the weeks to come. Now, hopefully we want to get back to life where it was before, and even better than where it was before. But unfortunately, this is just where we are right now. But I see people, who have had to go through a lot of different things. Just imagine being in one of those grocery stores and you're literally about to swipe your card, maybe on hope and on faith, praying that it's going to go through because there's a great chance it may be declined if you just don't have anything. And then somebody says, matter of fact, nah, we've got this. We've got this. And I'll tell you guys a quick story. The other day I was at Publix and there was a lady in front of me and all she had was milk. She had a gallon of milk. So I wasn't paying attention at first, and I'm loading my groceries on the belt and everything like that. And her card kept getting declined. So she tried one card, it was declined. She tried another card, it was declined. So um, I looked and I was like, wait, I was trying to kind of, because I was like, I've got it. I can do that. If I can do it, I can. Well, she kind of ran out of the store, and before I could offer to help, she ran out, and I don't know if it was part of it. She might have been embarrassed, unfortunately, and she said, "Let me go to the car." Well, I went ahead and I took care of it, and when I went out to the parking lot, she was gone. She had disappeared. And I don't tell that story and it was you saved the day. It was $4 worth of milk. I didn't save anything. What was kind of unfortunate was that the fact that she couldn't pay for the milk and she had to leave the store without the milk.
Yeah.
People are in need of a lot of things right now. And if there's any way that you can help, maybe catch them before they get out of the store, because maybe they aren't going to go get money out of the car. They're probably just going to leave. But if you can help somebody out in something like that, now is the time especially to do it, because times are really hard for people.
Totally agree, Brooks. I totally agree. And if you are able, in whatever manner, let's help out. I mean, I'm looking at the comments myself. It's what I keep looking off to the side and just reading some of these, and people who are talking about being furloughed, people who have lost their job because of this, and still saying that God is in control is such a incredible frame of mind to have, because there certainly could be an alternative frame of mind. The comment that Wendy made, about the new normal, I get where she's coming from. I totally get it. Stop force feeding that. Stop saying that line. It is kind of a throwaway line. It is kind of a cliche. And we get in the news business, we kind of will often fall back on these words that are just easy to kind of spit out. New normal. It just is. It just flows out. That's not us trying to force feed anything. We're not trying to make this a normal. We don't want this either. Heck, it's been reported in media that various outlets, and whether it's TV or newspaper, are going to face furloughs themselves. All right, so we don't want to embrace that, and we don't want that either. I think what can be looked at positive, if you want to hold on to a phrase like new normal, is the ingenuity, the creativity, the love. If we can keep that, if we can get rid of all the BS with this and stick having to stay at the house, but if we can get rid of all of that crap and leave the good that has come, and that becomes a new normal where we're all kinder, we're all spending more time with our families and having that love and giving nature, man, that would be terrific.
Like, what's that saying, Lou? You don't know what you got until it's gone. It's just, this is in just unfortunately, but fortunately, putting things into perspective to hope. You just, like you said, when you move forward, you get rid of the BS and you keep all the good.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Steve and Lou, for that. I gotta take you guys to this story before we have to go. On a lighter note, so being quarantined isn't always so easy. Sometimes you get a little lonely, right? Well, now they have this thing where you can actually adopt a grandparent. So if you need to maybe call grandma or grandpa, and maybe yours is no longer with us here on Earth, they have this new thing that you can take advantage of, and I've got to tell you about this. So even if it's not your own, there's one nursing home out of London. Hopefully we get something like this in the U.S., even though U.S. folks are taking advantage of it. They're getting more and more volunteers for its adopted grandparent program. So CHD Living pairs you up with a resident. It sets you up with this virtual hangout. And I got to tell you, one of the most recent calls came all the way from Honolulu out there in Hawaii. And you basically become an honorary grandchild for life. I love this idea. Man, listen, you get to talk to grandparents. Like I absolutely miss my great grandmother, who was basically one of the only grandmothers that I ever knew, because both of mine were gone before I was even born. But my great grandmother, let me tell you, that is one lady that I could talk to on the phone for hours and hours and hours. And I always wonder, if she were still living, because she passed back in 2018, if she was still living, what would be her thoughts about all of this that we're facing right now? So I'm like, you know what? Maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to adopt a grandparent, because grandparents are awesome. I don't care what anybody says. They are the absolute best. And they always have me laughing, whether they know it or not, because they say the craziest things, they do the craziest things, and they're just funny.
And full of stories, and you could learn so
Yeah.
much. There's like so many secrets and so much wisdom just tucked in their minds. And yeah, I totally agree with you, Brooks, man. I could sit on the phone or at the table with my grandparents over a cup of coffee and just chat away. I mean, my grandma Sadie has so much to say. So if she were to be up for adoption for someone to chat with, you'd be in for a treat. You'd be getting recipes. You'd be getting all these wild stories about how you would be able to go into New York City and see Frank Sinatra and grab a hot dog all in for like 15 cents. Back in the day. That's some really cool stuff. That's some really cool stuff, and there could be a really cool benefit to it because, if us 20-something-year-olds, Brooks, you and I, sorry, Lou.
Lou didn't make the cut. Sorry,
Lou.
Lou.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't. Well, actually, all of us have. We haven't really been on Earth on planet Earth that long. They have. They've gone through some wild stuff, and it's just. It could put things in perspective a little bit more so, and maybe help relieve some stress, maybe help put your mind at ease to kind of figure all of this out. So, I mean, it's great stuff. That's great stuff there.
I miss my grandparents, man. I miss my grandparents. Yeah, I'm 37, and they've been gone a little while. And you just want to have that one more conversation with them. This story's great. I have nothing really to add to how great this is. It just makes me miss my grandparents, and I know that my church and there are a lot of churches around the area that are kind of putting together little children's ministry where the children of the church are writing letters to local senior living facilities and things like that. And I think that's great. I think the next step is let's get them on the phone. You know what I mean? Let's get some phone numbers. We could even start that ourselves, guys. We start calling the folks over at Westminster or something like that, and just have a nice long conversation. I think it'll go a long way.
One of the things I think about in a story like this is, and I see so many of you guys saying, you miss your grandparents and everything like this. I think this is what the story has done for most of us. Probably it just made us think about those ones who we love, and like Lou said, we could just have one more conversation. Wouldn't that be nice? But I think about when my grandmother, for her last couple of years of life, when she was living in one of those nursing homes, I used to go up there a couple times a week and just go sit with her for a few hours. And it was almost like people looked at me crazy, like, wait, you're here? Wait, then your mom comes up here? Then your sister comes up here? What in the world? Because most of them don't have anybody visiting them. So you say we're lonely because we're quarantined with some TV and probably still friends we could pick up and call on the phone. Them, on the other hand, they don't have much of anything. They don't have much of anything, and literally all they have is themselves and then the other residents. And it's tough right now because if you have a grandparent, a mother, or somebody who happens to live in one of those facilities, you can't even visit them right now. Most of them are on lockdown. They're not letting anybody in to make sure they stop the spread and that they don't let anything creep up in there. So it's crazy, but I love that idea. I think that's definitely something that
My
would go very
suggestion,
far.
and what I would love if I could have a talk with my grandma or maybe an adopted grandma. My suggestion for any senior citizens or one of these facilities where they can't necessarily get out or visit right now is binge watch Tiger King. And that's something great they can watch.
No.
And then I would like to have a conversation with them after, and I want their honest take. Now, those
would be fun.
Those are the golden generation. That I need the reaction from them. That would be the best.
No, I can make that happen.
I think that would be funny.
That would be great.
The grandparents probably would. I don't even know if the grandparents would be able to follow that show because it's just so much foolishness. If you guys have seen, Tiger King, let us know what you think about that idea. Maybe get some of the grandparents and stuff before adopting them. Get them to binge watch Tiger King and then weigh in on their thoughts. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna agree with that one, Lou. That's just too much.
My grandpa, if he were still with, I lost my grandpa in '96 or '97, and I just knowing that man, if he had the opportunity to react to Tiger King, you'd have some absolute gold. Absolute gold.
My grandmother, she'll probably be cussing me out, telling me to get it off the screen. I don't want that on my screen. What is this foolishness? Exactly. Let me just share a couple of these comments, guys, before we have to go. Sharonica saying, yes, grandparents say the funniest things, and we really need that right now during this time. You're right, Sharonica, and they need us too. And Sharonica said, I need to call my grandma right now. Well, go on and do that. Deidre said, my mom just finished chemo and my dad has COPD. Both are in their 80s, so I call them multiple times a day and mail them care packages. Nice job, Deidre. And Becky saying no to the Tiger King thing. Yeah, thank you guys. I don't know what Lou is talking about, and we are not going to encourage that foolishness. You know, you just be saying some crazy things sometimes. Austin Cook always talking about the pineapple pizza. No pineapple pizza for grandma and grandpa.
I get pizza tonight. I'm not putting pineapple on it, Austin.
Let's not. Hey, Noreen. Good morning to you. Yeah. So I mean, you know, I think this is something that could probably, you know, take off. You know, if it hasn't already, but I hope we get some stuff like that in the U.S. We may have to start something and strike something up right here in Jacksonville with that, guys. I'm serious. I'm thinking about it.
I like Lou's idea of calling up the some of the homes there, just having conversations with some of the grandparents.
Yeah. And you know, we did Love Week back in February, and I remember Lou even did that the year before that, where you went to one of the nursing homes, right, and you delivered some candy for them. And they were in there flirting with Lou and everything. And I was like, all right, Lou, we see you, partner.
It was so fun. It was the best day. The best day. Valentine's Day candy. I mean, it was the most popular guy on campus.
You were. You were hot stuff, baby. You were hot stuff. All right, guys, we do appreciate you so much for joining us today. You've been watching the Daily Dive. Again, where we dive into all of the latest trending topics. Until next time, be great, be well, stay safe. We'll see you.